Hey, Dallas, I hope all of you are safe and sound. I hope that all of you have power and water back. It's been a crazy week for everybody. And so I hope you all are safe and able to watch this from the comfort of your house. So I want to jump into this because this is something that I actually have seen in my own son, okay, who's 4.5, all right, and why it concerns me. Why I'm paying attention to it is this is a really common thing that we're seeing. I am seeing lots and lots of eye issues right now. And what I mean by that is the highest form of sensory input is the eyes. Okay, the eyes are literally a part of your brain. They're literally a part of your central nervous system. So this is the only part of your nervous system, your brain, that's outside of your skull is your eyes. So it is your brain, really. So it's your brain's ability to sense the world around you, collect information, understand it, okay? Lots of kids, when I see them, when they come in, when they have, diagnosis or focus issues or whatever it may be. Like I did an exam on a little boy last week, and he had lots of eye issues, okay? Lots of saccades and movement issues with his eyes and convergence issues and all sorts of other things. But I want you to pay attention to these little things that you'll see your kids do, and they're telling you something really important. So what did I notice with my son? Okay. I noticed that when my son is pointing to something, especially in the distance, he turns his head and points. Now, why do you think he would turn his head? So if it's off in the distance, he turns his head and he points. So what he's doing is he is essentially taking the sensory input from two eyes and converging them down to one. So he's cutting down sensory input on the object that he's trying to identify. So I'm watching this, right? This is very, very important. If this continues, right, it's been getting better and better. We're adjusting him, we're watching him, we're monitoring him. But as this is there, I'm catching this. But what I see now is little things that parents can see and find and catch up. Like when they're writing, do they turn their head? That's a big one. Lots of parents don't notice that. And why would you notice that, right? It's you don't think anything of it, but as they're writing, they will turn their head. So what they're doing is they're taking from a binocular view, they're working it down to a monocular view, which is essentially cutting down sensory input. So what they're trying to do is dampen the sensory input to the brain. And so what that means is their eyes are easily overwhelmed, okay? Chet will often complain that the lights are too bright, okay? So we know there's a sensory input issue with the eyes. So this is something that we're monitoring, adjusting, and trying to work with a 4.5-year-old. So look, it's there. The signs are there. So if you see your kiddo reading, writing, doing particular things that they enjoy, and they turn their head, it's telling me something. If you turn your head, it's telling you something, okay? So I want you to recognize this. This is very, very important, because if these do not give good input to the brain, these kids will struggle with attention, focus, academics, memory, all sorts of other things. Because remember, this is an extension of the brain, okay? This is the highest form of sensory input. And so this is really important. But look at your kids. If they are involved in an activity and they turn their head. So it was fun when we were in class learning about this. What the teacher had us do is she gave us, I forget what it was, a little piece to fish up another small bead, right? So she had a bead. We had to fish it up. Lots of people did this. They turned and they picked up the bead that way. They were focused. They were cutting out sensory input to make it easier. Okay, so watch your kiddo. Do they turn their face? Do they do different things with their heads? Do they come closer to an object? Do they kind of lean back from an object? Do they turn? Do they do different things? Because what this is telling you is there may be an eye issue. And if there's an eye issue, we're going to struggle with sensory input, focus, memory, all of this stuff. And so parents, start looking at this, because I am seeing this in every kiddo. All right. And what this is going to look like is your typical ADHD kiddo. Well, I shouldn't say typical because there's three variations of ADHD, but this will look like a kiddo with inattention, right? So there's inattention hyperactive, and there's inattention. There's inattention hyperactive, and there's inattention hyperactive. Those are the three forms of it, and this can look like a variation of any of them, but definitely inattentive. So inability to focus, pay attention, all of this stuff. And this is really something easy that you can just spot. I say that easily, but when you look at them and they're writing, they're reading, and they're turning, they're bringing stuff close or far away, that's telling you something. That's telling you there's an eye issue. And so if your kiddo is struggling with focus, attention, the ability to, struggling with academics, all of this stuff is usually related to the eyes. And so I would say 99 out of 100 kids that I see all have an eye issue of some form. Okay. So pay attention to that, look at that, find that, because if you do, you need to start correcting it. So, all right. I hope this helps. I hope you're all safe. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.